Do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
Hey, Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, man. Craig, Doc, I couldn't wait for this week to be over with work-wise anyway, though, man. So I was like, boy. But we here.
Yeah, something's showing wrong on our live thing. Let me see here.
Slash Brothers, let me hit the go live on that then.
All right. I mean, I tried that, but yeah, for some reason, I mean, we live on the on your joint, so
Yeah. We should be good on that one too, though, man.
All right, let's get this music.
Let's do it.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Try Jesus, not me. Cause I throw hands. Try Jesus, please don't try me. Because I fight.
Hey, Kennedy, give it to me early, man. Best thing you've seen all week.
Best thing I seen all week was my son officially registering for school, like going through the process and getting himself all set up. You know, seeing people walk up to him like, "Yo, what's going on?" Because there was a switch in schools, which isn't officially announced yet, but it will be soon. And so the fact that, you know, just seeing people recognize him and ask him what was cracking and his renewed attitude about stuff. So yeah, just seeing him officially getting all lined up for school. I'm just real ecstatic.
Yo, man. So the funny thing about it, I know that you got him. You ecstatic for about just school and him hooping and everything. So on the hoops front, like two things that I saw that I would have. I had a short list of maybe 4 things, best things I've had, and I couldn't figure out which one would top it. So the funniest thing, right, is my boy Sharif Cooper. I told you I've been following him for a little while out there, watching him in the summer leagues out there in Vegas, though, for the Hogs. He out there balling. He was a 2nd-round draft pick, and they were saying that he could have been like a 1st-round draft pick, lower end of it. He's, you know, it's funny because he's built about like Trae Young. Maybe they say he's a little taller. I think he's maybe faster, although Trae Young is quicker, right? But he's more of an assist first point guard who can score. So I was glad to see my dude actually doing this thing, balling. He had a game winner one game. He was playing against my other dude who I like, Tyrese Maxey, last night. So I saw them ball out, and I've been watching a lot of the NBA summer leagues here, man. It's been fire. And one of the things, the other thing is that I saw Gary Payton's son come down the lane and had some nasty left hand lean. It was just like ridiculous. Probably one of the best plays I've seen from summer league, though, man. It's real fire, though, bro.
Yes. Speaking of summer league, I ain't gonna mean to cut you off, but you brought it to my mind. The boy Giddy for the Thunder, bro. You know, giddy up. I'm with Giddy. I'm giddy all day. Giddy up. he twisted his ankle in the summer league, but his first play of the game, bro, he drove in and just took that mug to the rack, bro. Just yoked on them boys.
Yo, so OKC. Okay, listen. If this one pans out for Sam Presti, he got to go to the Hall of Fame. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if we're talking about the same guy.
He 19. Giddy. His last name is Giddy.
What does he look like?
He got the little surf boy look with the curls, but it's kind of like long hair.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, I had never heard of him before, right?
Yeah, from like Australia somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's wild about this is that he had one of the worst reviews that I'm talking about. They basically made him sound like he was a low budget Ricky Rubio, like he was a tall Ricky Rubio. And I saw him playing in the summer league, and I saw the way he was moving out there. I was like, no, he ain't Ricky Rubio. He looked like he might be something though, bro. And
now,
I don't know
if you watch his highlights, right? He plays like Shea, except for Shea shoots better than him.
Yeah, because see, that was the thing. The review said, "Oh yeah, he's a great player, but he's not athletic, right?" But then they said, "Oh yeah, he's a great point guard, but he's not a good passer." And I was like, "Well, how the hell can you be a good point guard, not a good passer?" Then they said, "Oh, he can score, but he can't shoot." I was like, "What?" Like some of the things that they said about him were so. And I saw this. I saw this several places though, not just one place. Like there's been some. They said, "Oh yeah, he's a scorer, but he can't really shoot." You know what I'm saying? Like he's an offensive player, but he doesn't do any. But when I saw him out there, I was like, "Yo," I was pretty damn impressed.
Yeah, I am too. And he may very well go down to the G League for the Oklahoma City Blue, and develop a little bit more because Shea plays so well.
Gotta put him out there, bro. If you're Oklahoma though, I don't even send him down. I get him out there.
We have Maladon still, right? And so you still have a backup point guard. It doesn't mean that he's not gonna stay. He's not gonna stay down at the Blue because it's like last year we picked up Poku, and Poku went to the Blue for a little bit because he was doing terrible, and then he came back once he got reintegrated with the system and started producing. So I'm not saying, like I said, I don't think it's gonna be like a long stint. He's gonna be on the Thunder. He's definitely. I mean, like I said, he plays like Shea, except for he just doesn't shoot as well as Shea.
I saw his footwork, bro. I was impressed with the footwork, and that's the number one thing that I look at. Especially, bro, when I'm looking at, like, that's the thing. Like, I think that I'm real big into looking at the training that a lot of these kids get these days that just didn't exist when I was playing ball. And so when I look at their footwork, and I'm thinking like, yo, some people, it is a natural thing, right? But then I think that you can have natural great footwork, and then it can enhance your ball. Like here's a perfect example, right? Paul George just seemed like he had natural footwork, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the first things I noticed about him at Indiana. And then I noticed though, as he got older, and he worked to elevate his footwork. So now it's like footwork with the crossover, footwork with the step back, footwork with this, that, and the other. So I think that this dude, when I saw his footwork, I was like impressive, bro. Very impressive.
Yeah. He definitely looked like he's gonna be all right. And the thing is, because like
Kennedy heavy in the comments, what's good?
Man, she talking crazy too. The thing is that so like my boys, Tari and Deuce, they were hitting me up like, yo, what's up with Oklahoma getting all these international players? I was like, listen, bro, last year we hired a analytical firm that all they do is just do the analytics, right? And so when they did that, they were able to see, they put together stuff like picking, that's how Sam ends up picking players that nobody's ever heard of. And the Thunder have, their characteristic is always to build up talent. Like we've always built up talent. I mean, some of the greatest talent came from the Thunder. Kevin Durant, James Harden, all of these players that have went through the Oklahoma system that were homegrown. So Sam, I trust, you know what I'm saying? And I think that last year, while they were trying to hold us back from winning, I think that we had enough talent to actually do something. We could have made the playoffs last year if we weren't held back. So I think if the reins is off, we're gonna be all right.
Yo, let me tell you this. She said, I don't trust Sam. Then if you don't trust Sam Presti,
right,
then Brittany Rowe, you don't know basketball the way that you say.
Right.
Listen, the fact that you say you don't trust,
like they say
you don't know basketball like you say you do. If you don't trust Sam Presti there, man, listen, there's a lot of things that I don't trust, and Sam Presti is not on those things that I don't trust. And I'm inclined to give him the immediate benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Every single time, though. Yeah, so listen, the other thing, too, that I had, that there were two other things I said that were on my 4 things, best thing I've seen this week. Real funny thing, though, man, was the Kevin Hart interview with Don Cheadle. Because, listen, bro, I know I must have seen this thing probably 100 times now, though, man. And I had to go back and watch the entire interview, right? So Kevin Hart has his own talk show now, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is phenomenal, by the way. The setup of it's real dope. It's a Kevin Hart has his own podcast and has had it for years. He's comfortable in front of the mic, so it to me seems like the perfect kind of evolution or thing for him to do. So he's interviewed with Don Cheadle, and they're talking and everything like that. And where I first saw this was it picked up with Don Cheadle basically talking about, this new generation. He says, see me. He says, see me. I'm 57. And Kevin Hart blurts out, damn. And then the face that Don Cheadle makes, he was looking like ninja. And then Kevin Hart just immediately, I'm sorry. And also has a straight face. But by then, it had already been done. Like, you couldn't undo it. And Doc, I fell out laughing because it's one of those things where when you actually say the things that are in your head with no filter or no lights, it just boom, it just came out the way it was thought. Hilarious, bro. I fell out laughing. Very, very, very hilarious, though, bro.
Yeah, I've seen him and Snoop do the Olympic stuff, so I'm gonna have to check out the interviews. I knew he had talked about doing it, but I hadn't caught any of it. So yeah.
Listen, Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart, I don't know how this never happened before, but I need to see more Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart together, though, bro. It was some of the best. You know what it is, bro? It was some of the best timing, natural timing, and playing off of each other I've seen in quite some time, though, man.
Yeah, you would think that they would just do regular sports like that, where they could just, because you already know. I mean, Snoop got his, like, even though we all know Snoop is funny or whatever the case may be, it wasn't until that fight, the Mike Tyson fight, where Snoop just exploded. So,
yeah.
So now he just needs to they just need to do highlights of just like how Sports Center reviews basketball games or any type of sports. Football season coming up, bro. They need to be doing it, bro.
Yeah, listen, I can see them having their own weekly or daily even segment where they're giving their breakdown of key moments in sports. I'm totally there for it. I'm here for anything that has to do with them two together. Surprised about that, though, man.
Yeah.
What's
going on, Melvin?
Listen, shout out to Kim checking in. Brittany Rowe, as always. Listen, the other thing, right? The other thing, and I'm mad because Ace Kennedy, I don't have my air horns. I don't have nothing set up right now. Beyonce is officially working on new music that should be coming out soon, though, bro. I was like, hey, okay. I'm gonna tell you why I'm excited about that, right? Because two things. I think that in the void of Rihanna not coming out with any music. I mean, hey, listen, she's a billionaire. You can at that point you move whenever you want to. But at the same time, I do still enjoy those super duper level of divas, right? And so it's a big deal to me to see Beyonce, only because like I was that big at some point on like Alicia Keys, and then when her last album came out, I wasn't like that blown away by it. And so now you're looking at a time where like the two top female artists these days, right? Musically, her easily number one, but then you got Ella May, you got Janae Aiko, and then you got the homegirl, young girl, Billie Eilish or whatever.
Eilish.
Yeah, so for me, and then Taylor Swift's always around, but I'm talking about they got a little bit more, umph in the R&B, pop, or whatever. So I think for me, I was excited to see that Beyonce. I want to know. I want to know what does the music sound like. Like I've always appreciated that, especially to me about Ella May and her, and even Janae Aiko, man. While people may sound like them, they don't sound like anybody else, right? So I'm dying to see Beyonce continue to reinvent herself, especially in this microwave music society to where people consumption of music is high, right? And so, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what Beyonce does though, bro. So as the security guard for the Beehive, I am super excited. I couldn't tell you. I was listening though, bro. I've been listening to Beyonce all day long ever since I heard that, bro.
Good for you and all you Beehivers.
Yes. Yeah, man.
I'm cool on it, bro. Like I'll hear it if it comes, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Hey, man. Let me tell you how trio Beyonce is, though, man. She went ahead and was using some kind of CBD oil on her knees. Said my girl got bad knees, though, bro. Here I am with the bad knees. I done tried some CBD salve on my knees as well, though, man. And she done went about did a whole investment in it and everything like that, though, bro. I think that she has her own, bought her own, invested, and got her own CBD oil product company and everything. Jay-Z already had the cannabis line. Just made sense though, bro. But I was like, yo, been on Beyonce all day long today though, bro. So we back and we coming. And I'm just letting y'all know, I'm going to need all y'all that be talking that Beyonce this, that, and the other that ain't up to par with it should be to pay some respect. What I'm also excited about, Ace, right, is it also validates we've always been going on about Nicki Minaj. Because listen, bro, while it doesn't have anything to do with Nicki, this is a legend who's putting out the music. And that clock is starting to wind up faster on Nicki Minaj. Because aside from that, I also saw that Cardi B and what's my girl? Oh my God. What's my Lizzo supposed to have a new song that they're putting out and everything like that. Now, mind you, Lizzo to me is somebody who she just does. You either like her or you don't,
right? Or
even when you like her, she seems like she tries to do the most. And I personally I love Lizzo's music, right? But she has this new one with Cardi. And listen, Cardi didn't have songs that have charted well over the last, year during COVID, right? And meanwhile, we've been sitting here watching that clock like Nicki. You got a dope remix with Bia. It's a whole lot of money running. Look, I love the song, but I'm gonna need that clock. That clock is coming for Nicki, though, bro. I need that banger, especially.
You keep saying the clock is coming. When does it run out?
It's speeding up, bro. I'm talking about the minutes. Like she was on the hour hand, and it was slow. Now Nicki Minaj is on the minute hand. Like I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna keep it 1,000, bro. I'm gonna need a song. I'm gonna need a song that's a #1 hit from Nicki Minaj I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Listen, Ace Kennedy. I'm gonna put a stamp on it. I'm gonna put a stamp on it. Nicki Minaj is gonna have to have a #1 hit record, a #1 song by the end of this year. If she doesn't, I think she's completely lost it. I think that means that she has relinquished the crown of the hottest female rapper, hottest, not best, but the hottest. She's already given it up. But I'm saying that at this point, I think that if she doesn't have a #1 record, right, by the end of this year, then to me, Ace Kennedy, I think that it's gone. I don't know that she would be able to get it back after that.
Especially if Cardi drops another one, whether it's feature or if it's hers, if she drops another one this year, yeah, it's done.
Yes, because think about that. If Cardi, because think about that, right? It was before, we talked about this before, where Nicki Minaj would easily be able to roll out the bed and be the hottest female rapper. And then she would be able to roll out the bed, and whatever she would put out, everybody genuinely loved, because to be quite honest, there was no other alternatives on that level, right? Now, right? Not talking about all time, but where she is right now, these chicks are peers, right? Cardi is a peer of her, hit making wise. Megan is a peer of hers right now, right? Lyrically speaking, if we're being honest, Rhapsody is a peer, right? There are people who can compete with Nicki rapping wise. And so I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like, well, Megan isn't going anywhere. She's just warming up, right? And Cardi apparently isn't letting her second baby slow her down. She's still putting out chart-making, hit-making songs. And if Nicki doesn't have one, I think that and my fear is that Nicki is the GOAT, but that maybe she's resting on the laurels, like they say, man. Like maybe she's just maybe being the top chick isn't a priority to her anymore.
Well, according to Brittany Rowe, she can rest on her laurels because it don't matter. That's what she basically saying.
She can't do it anymore. Right? I think that what Nicki did is, to me, Nicki, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if there's ever a right time, right? But you think about that, right? It seems like she picked the wrong time to say, I'm gonna fall back, do me real quick, and then I'll come back, because she has that all-time title to me that I think that she can hang her hat on. But I think at the same time, at some point, a lot of people were the all-time. Like you could have that conversation even at the point with let's say Wayne, right? You know, Wayne was at one point the hottest, and now he's no longer the hottest. And so now the conversation with him is GOAT. But the hottest is right now. Who is the most popular? Who music is hitting right now? And I don't know, man. If Nicki don't have that coming by the end of the year, though, man, it's I think that she won't get it back. She just won't.
Kim, what you talking about?
I didn't see a lawsuit that was filed on her today, though. Yeah, you got me. I got to look this up right now on the new phone, Ace. Let me see. So I didn't know about this one. Hang on. Bear with me. I didn't know about no new lawsuit. Hold on. Nicki Minaj. Let's see here. No. Oh, okay. Nicki, okay, if we talk about the same thing. Okay, Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty, her husband, sued over intimidation of sexual assault victim. Okay, so let's talk about this, though. It says Jennifer Hoff, the woman Petty was convicted of attempting to rape in 1994, sues the rapper and husband over alleged campaigns of threats and harassment. Says Nicki and her husband have been sued by the woman who Petty was convicted of raping at knife point in 1994. Knife point. The lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court in Eastern New York and obtained by Rolling Stones alleged that Nicki Minaj directly and indirectly intimidated, harassed, and threatened Jennifer Huff to recant her legitimate claim that the defendant, Petty, raped her. Petty served 4.5 years in prison after pleading guilty to attempted rape, which occurred when Huff was 16. The lawsuit details the 1994 rape as well. Nearly 2 decades later, Petty and Minaj's alleged attempts to have Huff recant the rape charge says the desire recant was spurred in part by Petty's arrest for failing to register as a sex offender upon moving to California, a condition of this 1994 conviction. Yo, this is real spicy stuff here, Ace.
Well, obviously Nicki knew who she was marrying, so I mean that's on her.
The lawsuit, which accuses Minaj and Petty of witness intimidation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, neglect infliction of emotional distress, harassment, assault, battery, sexual assault, and sexual harassment, also goes into details about the involvement of Huff's childhood friend, Black, who act as sort of a liaison, putting the 2 women in direct contact over the phone. Says during the phone call, defendant Minaj, which I think is crazy that they call it defendant Minaj, stated that she heard the plaintiff was willing to help out their situation and stated that she would fly the plaintiff and her family to Los Angeles. The plaintiff declined. Oh my gosh, dog. Listen. Whoa, wait a minute, Ace. It says, after continued refusal to recant the rape claim, including an offer of $500,000 from Nicki Minaj, if the plaintiff wrote a letter recanting her rape claim against the defendant, Petty, her husband, Huff began to panic because Black, who was in contact with the defendant Minaj, now knew where the plaintiff lived. They knew where she worked. They knew what the girl kids looked like. Yo, man, listen. Yo. Ace Kennedy.
What up?
Let me ask you something, bro. Has Nicki Minaj been taking L's since she's been with this new dude, man? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, ever since
I think he has.
Somebody clowned him about his pants that he wears.
Bruh. Okay, so here's the other part too, Ace. Okay. Let's just say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, if this dude went to jail and he was convicted, and I'm gonna assume, New York, especially in the 90s, were real aggressive when it came to convictions, charges, and things like that, right? And then plea offers as well in the 90s were like at an astronomical rate. This happened in 1994, so this is still over 20 years ago, right? Over 20 years ago, and Nicki Minaj, this girl was, like I said, I think I already forgot already, 14 to 15 years old. And they said that he raped her, attempted to rape her, didn't actually do it, which doesn't make it any better, but did it at night point, and he was convicted. He pled guilty to it. Now, I'm going to assume that he pled guilty to it and was sentenced to the 10 years. He did 4.5. I'm going to assume that even if he felt like he didn't do it, he would rather just go ahead and plead guilty and take a plea deal rather than face a longer possible sentencing, right? But if you've agreed to it, right? If you pled guilty to that and you actually didn't do it, right? How do you go about that, right? You can't just go do a retrial. Now it's all over, right? But 20 years later, you can say your part. But do you commend Nicki for going hard for her man because she feels like he was indeed innocent? Like, what are we doing with that?
I mean, without knowing all the details, we get into hearsay stuff, but without knowing all the details, I mean, obviously you would want her to go hard for her dude, but the intimidation piece of it is what is just kind of over the line. You know, people pay people off all the time because of you know, public not public defender. She's a public figure.
Right.
So it makes it easier for them to move around. And the fact that, like she said, I don't think he ever registered to be a sex offender. So it's one of them things, like, obviously, because of her brand, she would want that removed from his record.
What is that? So here's the thing, right? So what is that? How does that look with Nicki Minaj? How does that make her look? Because if I'm not mistaken, bro, I think that Nicki Minaj also had a brother who also had some kind of accusation or went to jail or something like that that had to do with, you know, rape or something, sexual assault as well. And that was already something she had to carry around. Now she marries a guy knowing that he had, I understand, like, there's you know, looking past somebody's past, but like at some point though, bro, like, is that like you knew what you were getting yourself into when you married this guy? Like, that's not. I mean, I know that that's her girl, and listen, if he is being 100% truthful and said, I didn't do this, but yes, I pled guilty for it to avoid a longer sentencing because I was afraid of the alternative, right? And he did, with all things considered, did 4.5 years. I believe he was also very young as well, right, when it happened. But either way, it was at knife point, right? So my thing is that, I guess what I'm wondering is that, thinking about that now with Nicki, like, is that her responsibility, or is it just she's married now, so his responsibility is her responsibility?
Listen, her brother's not her responsibility. Her husband, not her responsibility. For one, if it happened when he was 15, 16 years old, no, that's like, I'm not sitting up here saying that all dudes have attempted to rape somebody at 15 or 16. I'm saying that at 15 and 16, as men, we've made mistakes. I'm not comparing our mistakes to what he did. All I'm saying is everybody makes mistakes at an early age because you're a teenager, you're figuring life out, and you don't necessarily think about what happens tomorrow. And again, without knowing the details, like you said, it could very well be a situation as to where he pled guilty because it'd keep him from going through the legal system and he'd be found guilty and then he has to serve 20 years or whatever the case. I don't know. All I'm saying is it still doesn't fall on Nicki because she wasn't there. That wasn't her at the time. And for somebody to say, well, she shouldn't have married him, that was, again, 15 years old, 16 years. We've all changed, hopefully, within that amount of time. But I mean, she's, you know.
Let me ask you this though. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm going with this though, right? So I think that Nicki's PR team advised Nicki to leave Meek Mill when Meek was doing all the other stuff that he was doing, getting locked up, blah, 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 blah. So she wound up rolling out on Meek Mill, though, man. I think that she broke it off with Meek Mill. That's according to whatever the reports. I don't know, man, if there was anything more personal than that. But with that said, though, right? Like, if you're Nicki's PR team, like, when you kind of say, well, listen, Nicki, if you want to date this guy, you're gonna have to carry this around, but you know, getting married to, because if you homeboy, you won. You wife Nicki Minaj. I understand him, right? He's winning, right? Because with all things considered, you know, he might look at you can look at it saying, listen, if I got Nicki Minaj, if you want to say, you know, she's baddest, top 10, whatever you want to say, but if you say, I told her my truth, she knows my truth, and she's riding with me, regardless of what time I served, and I'll tell you why I did it, I think that that's enough. But to still drag it out, right, to say, well, nah, I'm going to really have you 20 years later say, no, this is what really happened. I guess I'm just thinking, like, is that worth it for him? And if you've already married him, if you're Nicki, why does that even matter now if you've married him? That's what I'm just kind of curious about.
Well, I mean, I just think that at the end of the day, it's something they're going to have to deal with. But at the same time, this still ain't the reason why she ain't releasing no music.
Listen, this better be She better say, I've been supporting him and this has been, a distraction or whatever. But listen, by the end of the year, if she ain't got a number one hit, she could be the GOAT. And I'll always call Nicki Minaj the GOAT, female MC. But if she ain't got that hit record, I don't think that her fans will move on from her, but I think that hip hop culture would set her by the wayside and treat her very much like a lot of the other hot male MCs who were the hottest at one time, and then you still have their catalog and their overall greatness. But right now, I think that hip hop will start to move on from Nicki Minaj in terms of being looking for her to be the current hot female rapper. End of the year, bro. That's when the clock stops on her.
I feel you.
Hey, listen. So we were talking about you said obligations, right? That's kind of funny, right? Because I saw people commenting, right? And this is Brittany Rowe. This isn't about hip hop. This isn't about hip hop forgetting Nicki. You can never forget legends. But yes, to answer your question, hip hop did move on from Lil' Kim, right? At one point, Lil' Kim was the hottest, right? And then she stopped putting out the hit songs and hit records. And then at some point, a Nicki Minaj came on. And then now Nicki was the hottest. In the same way that Nicki Minaj is putting out hot records. And then she stopped putting out hot records. And then comes a Cardi B, comes a Megan Thee Stallion, and a new one comes to replace it. So I don't think the hip hop will ever forget her. But I think that people will stop looking for her to be that number one, that hottest hot. And it happens to male rappers all the time. I mean, the only person that it hasn't happened to is Drake. But all of the rappers typically have that window where they're the hottest. And typically for me, my rule of thumb is 5 years. Like you have a 5-year window to be the hottest. And Drake's the only one that's broke that. But yeah, Lil' Kim is the wrong. Lil' Kim is the wrong one because to put that suggestion out there on just because, yes, we moved on from checking for Lil' Kim to be the hottest though, bro, a long time ago. But same with Foxy Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens.
At the end of the day, with music, it's what have you done for me lately?
It is what have you done for me lately? And Nicki has not done anything in roughly 5 years, if we want to be honest, 7 years, or 4 years when Anaconda came out. That was the last big Nicki song, though, bro. Bruh. So listen, obligations. Question for you, Ace Kennedy. I recently saw that Dr. Dre has a daughter from his, I don't know if it's his current wife, who is also trying to hit him up for hella alimony, right? But he has a daughter who is apparently homeless and is living in a car, sleeping in the car. And even then, I don't know if it's a rental or what's her situation with the car or whatnot, though, man. But even that, she feel like, listen, they gonna come get this thing any minute now, right? And it's kind of sad because, Dr. Dre is a billionaire, right? A billionaire. And at one point, he was taking care of her, giving her, from what I've understood, he provided some financial support. I don't know how much or whatever. A question for you, though, Ace. I think that this girl is probably like, if I'm not mistaken, man, she might be like in her 40s or 50s because she got kids, right? I think maybe 40s because Dre is like 50, I think, but she's the oldest one or whatever. And so my question for you is that at what point does, as a parent, what obligations stop at certain ages? Like financially, right? Like at some point you would like to think that, okay, Dre is a billionaire. And if he's taking care of you, like at what point can you as a child, do you say, no, I'm done with my obligation to you? She's 38. Shout out to Melvin. Thank you. Keep me honest there. 38 years old, so she's our age. She's a peer of ours.
Okay, so she should be by now in her career doing what she's supposed to be doing. The thing is that everybody has fallen on hard times or have needed assistance or whatever the case may be. But I don't know her loan history with her dad. Like I don't know what he told her or hey, like after this is it. Like again, without knowing all the details, it's easy to just look and try to count somebody's pockets and say what somebody should and should not be doing. At the end of the day, she's 38 years old. She's grown. So she should have established some sort of career by that time. And like I said, needing assistance, like, hey, a bill came out that was, more than I expected. Can I get this is one thing, but to be requiring somebody to take care of you and your kids or whatever, nah.
Okay, let me ask you this. What is the window? What is it acceptable with? Because see, I'm not of the belief, right? That I think that when we were, this is again our generation, because maybe our generation is different. But I remember a lot of people, it was of the belief that, listen, when you turn 18, you got to get up out your mom and them house, right? It's time to move on. And I think that was always the belief that, listen, if you 18, you can't live here no more. I don't think that my mom never actually said it to me. But, for me, I was like, now that I'm 18, that's something I want to be doing there's some things that I want to be doing that I don't want to have to get somebody's permission to do, right? Well, so it was a my decision thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that even like Deuce, right? Deuce turned 18 and he to me showed similar ambitions to move forward. Like, okay, I'm 18, I'm trying to do some other things. Like I want to be on my own. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, for instance, there's like Samaya chose to stay at the house because she's going to college. So she's doing some different things or whatever. Like she's doing something with herself. You know what I'm saying? She makes her own money.
Right.
And she's going to school. She's doing her thing. I have no issue with that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there is a window. I think that there's arrangements. I just think that each household is different. I don't think that there's a set time like, oh, by this time you need to be doing this because, I think that each situation requires you to look at that and say, okay, these are what's going to go on right now. So again, without knowing all the details of their particular situation, just from the outside looking in at 38, you would think she would have some sort of career or something. And again, I don't know, maybe she was fired because of COVID. Maybe, maybe she was married and now she's divorced and couldn't afford to get a place. I don't know those things, and I don't know what the agreement was between Dre and her either to be commenting to say, oh, he wrong or she wrong, because I can't count that man's pockets.
Brittany Rose's comment is ridiculously funny, bro. Hey, listen, man. Listen, I just think that for me, right, when I was 18, listen.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, when I was 18 years old, I knew, right? I said, you know what? Now, man, I felt maybe I was smelling myself a little bit much, but I was like, you know what, man? At 18 years old, I was at West, making some good money. And I was just like, you know what, man, I'm hollering at the homie Mel. I'm like, Mailbox, we need to go ahead and get our own spot, bro. There's some things that I'm trying to do that I don't want to feel like, I don't want my mom to also feel like I'm being disrespectful for doing those things. And so by moving out, getting my own, listen, I'm grown. So I can do whatever I want to. So I decided at 18 that it was the move for me. And to be quite honest, I think that even at 18, I've been pretty much on my own. I mean, when I say on my own, no assistance from family since then. But I think the thing that just makes the optics of this a little different, right, is that for one, it's Dr. Dre. Everybody knows Dr. Dre. But the fact that he's a billionaire and that your grandkids, let's say aside from her, right, your grandkids are technically homeless. And so that's a pretty shameful thing. Even if Jeff Bezos, right? If Jeff Bezos is a billionaire, I'm not expecting that everybody in Jeff Bezos' family to also be eating off of that billionaire. You know, I don't expect for him to take care of everybody's family. But at the same time, you mean to tell me, Jeff Bezos, you got a whole grandson over here who is homeless, right? Like that's the part that I guess I would look at it differently if it was just her, but it's just the fact that she has kids, them his grandkids. It's something about that don't sit right with me though, man.
I mean, again, I ain't fixing to sit up here and without knowing the details, I ain't even pointing fingers, but it seems like that whole little thing about them obligations is still going. Because what was the couple from the Love and Hip Hop, the 19-year-old.
Also, that was Yandy and Mendici. Now I don't keep up with the Love and Hip Hops like right. on a regular basis. I might catch like the reunions that just pretty much recaps everything that I think though. But yeah, Yandy and Mendici, who not too long ago just recently got released from prison, and she held him down though, bro. So I actually like Yandy a lot. I bumped in. I was out at a restaurant, me and Neek, and we saw her up there though, man. Very pretty girl in person though, man. Super, yeah.
But they got a 19-year-old. I guess she, started dating somebody older, and wasn't doing her end of the bargain of living at home. And so they was like, all right, well, we gonna go ahead and get you set up so you can be on your own, and we'll pay like 2 months of rent. And then after that, you on your own, because you grown up now. And she broke down and was like, nah, like I ain't ready. So she 19, and like you said, you had some things you was trying to do in the headquarters. So maybe she wasn't doing whatever was asked in that household. And so they was like, you the deuce.
So let me get this right though. Okay, so she's dating okay. I don't know what dating an older guy has to do with anything though, right? Which is another thing too though, man, just because it's like this I believe. Now, this is the thing that is interesting. I don't believe that this was her biological daughter. I do believe, and I don't keep up with it, but I know loosely enough that this was a girl that was adopted, right? So this was so let's put that out there, right? That the girl was adopted. But aside from that, you know what I'm saying? If I've adopted you and if I've been raising you, that's it. You my kid, right? But the age, I'm just wondering what the old guy got to do anything. Because, I always hear all the time that this isn't a big deal, right? That don't girls typically like older guys anyway. That was always what I thought. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on, Charlie. So you trying to say if there was a single Charlie Venus out here, you gonna be knocking down a 19-year-old, bro? Okay, so what if the dude is 40?
No, then I think no, that's not my look. You know why? You know the reason why that's not a look for me?
Why?
Right? Because I have nieces and a nephew who is about that age. So
I'm saying
that's like me saying, hold on. Hey, that's like me coming on over to y'all house, and then Samaya has one of her friends over there. I'm like, Samaya, hook your uncle up. Seriously, bro?
But Charlie, what I'm saying is, what if they feel the same way and she was bringing in a 40-year-old? Like you said, me and you don't know the storyline, so
we don't. We're speculating. But I guess my thing is, if this cat is 40 years old, that's what makes it look. That's what I'm saying. Hey. I'm trying to speak on behalf of the 40s because they make it when they say this older guy. I just could assume that he's 40. It just seems like
it's like, listen, if you got a 40-year-old, you got to move on.
Yeah.
Because he got benefits.
Yes, then I understand why they're saying that though, man. But if you try to do this with some dude who's like 25, he's still trying to figure things out himself. But if you got somebody if you're dating somebody who's your parents' age, because I'm gonna assume that Yandy is about 40 maybe more. If she's been around as long enough before Jim Jones and them was popping like that, then yeah, I would assume that Yandy's about 40. So if you're dating somebody's my age, that means that you're in a relationship with somebody my age that need to be doing things, and you're insisting on doing things my age, then you need to do all of those things that are involved with people being my age. You can't just pick it, especially when I have rules in my household and you don't want to abide by those things. Because the minute you don't want to, the minute you feel like, no, I'm too old to be abiding by rules, that's when it's time for you to get your own. It doesn't, that doesn't matter if dude is, it doesn't matter who she's dating, right? But I thought it was just crazy that they threw it out the 40 though, bro. I mean, the older guy. I just assume he's 40 though.
Yeah, same here. The boy Tory Lanez, bro, he out here selling that EFT. He sold the EFT project. He did an album. I think it was like 3 songs, but he sold it for $1 for only 1 million people, and it sold out within a minute. And he's basically claiming that with that record, people can resell it, and they make a grip off of it. So he said he did it for the fans. But for him, it makes him go platinum. And then, of course, it's a new style of album because NFTs are still fairly new. A lot of people don't even know what they are.
I don't know what NFT is, because if you're telling me that I can put out a quick EP right now, and I said this is going to be NFT, and hey, you can buy this album and you can own it. I can put out 5 songs right now. You can have it. He said to get his fans back. I get that he did it to get fans back. Don't listen. There's never a time where I'm gonna believe that it doesn't have anything to do with the money, right? He put these 3 songs out, made $1 million. He went platinum. He sold it for $1, so he made $1 million, right? So he didn't do this for free, right? With that being said, I don't know how you put out EFTs or EBTs, right? But all I'm saying though, Ace Kennedy, is that if he could get 1 million people he don't know to buy an album for $1 and they own it, what is stopping the people who support us and the people who are Facebook friends of ours for saying, listen, Ace, me and Ace can put out a 5-song EP that you can own and resell it for whatever you want to resell it for. All we look for you to is buy for $1.
The problem is we don't know, like I said, we don't know the ins and outs of an NFT. So that's the problem right there. And I don't know of anybody else who has done that anyway. So it was interesting. And then he was even talking about he was trying to sign T-Pain, and T-Pain wasn't having it. That boy T-Pain said that's the most light-skinned thing he done seen in quite some time.
Dog, listen, man. Listen, I can see that it's disrespectful because T-Pain is the GOAT. Here's a GOAT to me, though, bro. Like, stop it. But listen, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 though, man. Tory Lanez is bouncing back from this Megan thing. Like, seriously, he has wins, right? I mean, not to say he's winning, but he has wins. I mean, he's completely independent, right? And I think that with all things considered, people are still rocking with Tory Lanez, right? I think he may have lost some fans, but I feel like he's found a way.
It goes back to what we talked about. What have you done?
What have you done for me lately?
The problem is the stuff has been over a year, and we haven't heard any more details. So in there, people aren't thinking about the fact that, okay, it takes time. Trials get pushed back, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. So they're like, oh, well, he ain't went to jail yet. So obviously it wasn't true. It's just some people just think like that. Boom. He's still around. He making music. He making money. He doing this. And so, hey, he must have didn't do it.
Yeah. And listen, I think that it is interesting though, man, that I saw as well that he was taking off with some festivals. with the baby. And I think that it's interesting because he's worked with the baby and the baby has worked with Megan Thee Stallion. So I think that with all things considered though, bro, I think that to me, there's something still to be said about the fact that the baby, you know what I'm saying? And people in general, like, you know, I don't think that Tory Lanez is completely canceled. Like, and I like people assumed he would be. I think that he is still bouncing back and is probably on he's completely independent now, right? And probably right around the time that the Megan thing happened was right after, I believe, or right around the time he released his last album from a deal. And so now for somebody who's completely independent, I think that I'm gonna say he is not just winning, they got some wins. I think Tory Lanez is winning, bro. I think he's doing his thing.
I mean, again, until the facts come out about the case, then people don't feel as bad as supporting him because, again, he hadn't been to jail. So I get it.
Now, listen, the one thing that I don't put a lot of stock into, I saw Brittany Rowe made an interesting comment, though, because she said that she saw that Lil Nas X passed the baby as the most streamed artist. And now that I'm starting to get a little bit more familiar with streaming and how those numbers can be influenced, I don't particularly, that doesn't sway me one way or the other. I just didn't want to just disregard what you said, but streaming numbers all can be influenced and manipulated. It's how much do you want to pay for the numbers?
Yeah.
Basically.
As far as Meg, she winning because of that IG.
Oh my God. Megan Thee Stallion has one of the best IGs since probably the last 2 years, 3 years. But since then, I got to be honest though, man, I do think Megan is like, both of them can win despite that. Now, like you said, I'd be interested to see what happens after that, right? It wouldn't, you know, Ace, it wouldn't surprise me, bro. It wouldn't surprise me if the charges get dismissed, right? If she just said, I'm gonna drop the charges, we'll settle this, and it never goes. That wouldn't surprise me if it was something like that.
I mean, it may not surprise you, but I don't think that's happening. I think that too many people are questioning her at this moment. So if anything, it's like, listen, I'm sick of, like, I need the truth to come out so that y'all can see. For anybody that's still been rocking with him, I want y'all to feel some type of way because y'all are now questioning me as though I'm the liar, and I'm telling you, like, I'm the one that had 2 holes in my feet.
You said it last week that Rihanna hit that billionaire status. Everybody likes to see a survivor wins. Everybody likes to see a victim win. And so Megan has taken off since then, right? So I think that people are rooting for her though, man. So I definitely, I agree with you 1,000. I would be curious to see though, you know, how this whole thing is adjudicated. How does it come to a resolution?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yes.
Yep.
Listen, stuff on music. I just want to run something by you real quick because I saw something that was old that came back up. For some reason, man, like I remember sometime like last year when Verzuz battles were first coming on now, and we kind of talked about it, about different, we were talking about like matchups and everything. And I remember seeing something a while back where Charlamagne the God said, you know, in a comment on his podcast that Eminem would get washed in the Verzuz battle. And then you think about that and you think, what, Eminem? You know, some people have Eminem as a top 5 MC, blah, 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 blah. And so then we were actually, you know, when we talked about it, we were at the time talking about matchups. It depends on the songs and this, that, and the other. Perfect example, Dipset Lots. Dipset, I thought Dipset had more hot bangers, right? Individually. And here it is, the Lots, over the head, over the head, over the head. So he specifically brought up a couple of names, right? And said Eminem would lose in a battle, in a Verzuz battle. He pointed to the fact that Eminem isn't as relevant with this young culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if we're just talking about just songs, not rapping ability, that he would get washed by Future. he would get watched by Young Thug. And I think he jokingly brought up your boy Snitch 9, right? But I'm sitting here thinking about this, Ace Kennedy. If we're just talking about songs, is Charlamagne the God wrong?
He's not wrong, but I do think those names you mentioned, he's wrong. Because the thing is that people do not understand the catalog that M has, bro. People, is that a Finn Balor cup, bro? I've been looking at it this whole time. That boy got that Balor club. Ooh! Yeah. People is forgetting about Eminem's catalog, bro. But here's the problem with M, right? M has a niche audience that follows him. Now, the thing with M is that his name is known everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But not necessarily his music. But again, our generation is Eminem followers, right? All the way back to the Slim Shady LP. You know what I'm saying? We followed the whole thing of him beating up. M is he from our culture. We listen to him beat up his wife and like on record. So the thing is that M's his catalog is immaculate, and even you talking about some of the verses he has or whatever the case may be. But he would have to go against somebody again from our generation, somebody in that same caliber.
I mean, let me tell you. With that being said, I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Okay, if we're just talking about 20 songs, give me your best 20 songs that essentially you're saying these are the best 20 songs that you've ever done.
If you're talking about just if it's a song selection, bro, I'm telling you, M got a catalog, bro. I'm a listen, bro. Ace Kennedy. I'm just gonna say, listen. Let's talk about the people who I'm gonna be. Man, listen. This may sound a bit shocking. I think Future may have 20 bangers that I do think Future 20 would be able to. If you put Future on a Verzuz right now and say Future, give me 20 of them things. I think that Future's songs would bang harder and would resonate more with today, depending on who's all on this, who's paying attention. But I agree with you. I think that the big part about it is that if Eminem brought all of his fans to a Verzuz, which are different from the usual hip hop heads that join a Verzuz battle, I think Eminem would. I think Future would. Listen, you talking about performance too. Future is not outperforming M. And if M, that means M's pulling out Dre. They gonna do the Dre and M song. He gonna like any feature that M has. M is gonna put on the show.
I forgot about voices. These voices, I hear you. I follow. Listen, don't say
he would be, bro. He would bring
Brittany Rowe. Brittany, you said the most pop Eminem songs ever. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. If Eminem played In the Closet and Not Afraid, he'll get washed on all. Those are rounds. Brittany Rowe, you just named 3 rounds and he would lose automatically, bro.
Guilty Conscience with him and Dre, bro.
Guilty Conscience is my joint.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I think that the Marshall Mathers LP is a top 10 rap album of all time.
Yeah, that's right. What I'm saying.
Marshall Mathers is it. But listen, so Brittany Rowe, you said it's about hits, but it's not necessarily about hits, though.
Not necessarily. The Locks and them proved it.
It's not. Yeah, the Locks prove that it's not about hits. It really is a feel, right?
If M gets to perform his records, bro, it's a whole different thing. It's different to hearing M spit that stuff from a record than him spitting it live. Come on, bro.
Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you though, bro. I don't think that In the Closet and Godzilla, like I think I can name several songs by Future that's better than that I think if you put on, the everybody be like, oh, like I think it. Like
he got the real Slim Shady, bro. Lose Yourself.
He would have to bring out. Eminem would have to play all of the songs that came out before Relapse, and I think those, like to me, this recent M has gotten closer to the old Eminem that I like.
Yeah.
But he went through that phase, man, where he was putting out these pop feels where I thought it was like booty, bro.
He won't pull out nothing from the Relapse.
Oh, well, he's pulling out Mockingbird. Like, Brittany, bro, you losing mad points right now. Like,
he got songs like, but he got a song with like Ed Sheeran. He got Kid Cudi, like I said, him and Dre, Anderson .Paak.
Y'all are killing me. None of those songs are rocking with nothing that Future. Like, if I could name 20 Future songs, like look, none of listen. Mockingbird, Drop the World is better than Jumpman, the E-Boys up to something. Oh, I just gave my V. That whole Future and Drake mixtape, but bro, y'all better stop playing.
Charlie. So if he bring out Beyonce, he ain't gonna win. No, not him bringing out Beyonce. Because listen, I think that the same way I think that Future can, to me, and this is something. I think Future can bring out the song when he do the hook. It's $500,000 lean. You ain't even know it. Just the hook on that one alone, it's gonna blow some people away. Like, no, I think that people think I think that people are minimizing Future's hits. I'm not minimizing Future's hits. I think you're minimizing M's hits.
It's $500,000. No, I'm not.
I think, like I said, they're not going to be. It's not going to be an aux chord battle. It's going to be in person, and I think M performance would definitely,
If you put, listen, bro, maybe you're right. If you're talking about performance.
Yes, that's what
I get it. I get it. But I'm saying, yeah, I can see that. But I'm saying, if you just saying, listen, bro, if you just said like we passing the ox, bro, I think Future would win.
It ain't been passing the ox for the last four battles. We're almost. I mean, it's a transition to COVID to where people are in person, so that just wouldn't fly. To go
that
from
boy said he'll put on that young nigga move that dope. Young nigga move that dope, hey, move that dope, hey, move that dope. And then he gonna be there, look at some commas. Listen, bro, y'all are tripping though, man. The Future, I'm just talking about, like, I understand what y'all are saying though, man. But I'm saying that he got the Life is Good, he got Mask Off. Okay, Mask Off. Like, what? Future, listen, Future got Turn on the Lights. He got Move That Dope. He got Mess Up Some Commas. Where You At? Jumpman. Low Life. Mask Off. Life is Good. Like, those are just recent, fairly recent ones.
The thing. Future should be battling your boy anyway. Who the boy would be wearing the dresses? Jeffrey.
Young Thug. I can see Future and Young Thug doing a comparable one.
Yeah, I think it should be Eminem and Buster, bro.
Eminem and Buster would be fine. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm biased. I would pick Buster, bro.
Well, that's because Buster's performance is unmatched, bro. I opened up for Buster. I know how he gets down. But listen, see, M would have to pull out all the stars. He'd have to bring 50 out there. He had to bring Dre. Yeah.
Listen, man. He said, listen, Brittany Rose said, Dre didn't co-sign for Future. He co-signed for M. Well, Eminem also co-signed for a bunch of other corn artists that you probably have never heard of before, though. So I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. And then, I mean, you got to think the alternatives. There wasn't as many alternatives to Eminem back then, though. There's like I'm not. Listen, I love Eminem, but I'm just talking about 20. It's for the same reason why I think that, like, when we talk about somebody who's an all-time great, like when we talk about Usher and Chris Brown, like I just think that the 20 Usher songs may just hit a little bit harder. I think that people might feel the same way about M with certain people. Busta Rhymes, though, is one of those people, especially if you're going to go ahead and do performance with it, you'd be hard pressed to tell me 5 people who would be able to have 20 songs that they could perform better than Busta Rhymes.
That's what I know. Because like even when Busta was performing, 50 was the headliner, and 50 was out there watching Busta because it's like it's a whole bro. He make it hard. He make it hard.
Bro, Brittany Rowe just
I stopped paying attention to Brittany a long time ago, bro.
Brittany Rowe just said Big Sean.
She throwing stuff out there. When she said Big Sean, that's when it ended for her. She can't even name 20 Big Sean records.
No. Oh my gosh, man. Don't get me started. Hey, listen, man. We passed because golly, man, my Lord. This has been unreal though, man. Hey, real quick though, before we slide on out here though, man, did you see that apparently Kanye is moving his Donda production? I thought that it was supposed to come out last week. It didn't come out then, so I don't know when this is gonna come out.
They just changed your release date to August 2021. That's it.
I don't know. And listen, the VMAs are coming out though, man. And listen, I think that it's kind of interesting though that the VMAs are coming out. And here it is. It's in the climate where it's been hard, over the past year or so for some places opening on up, closing still to produce, music videos, right? So I think that it's interesting. Megan Thee Stallion, of course, is heavily nominated. The Baby is they say he's snubbed or whatever though, man. I remember the VMAs when Missy was doing, videos, and it was like the biggest thing though, bro. It's like I'm wondering here, man, in terms of the pageantry with the VMAs, so man, is this something that you looking to check out this year?
Man, I haven't watched music videos in so long, bro. And it's crazy because I make them, but it's just one of them things like videos haven't really been the same. I mean, it would have to be like it took for Lil Nas X to do something wild or WAP to be something crazy that is like, oh, I want to see the video. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I did see T-Pain's new video where they was in the Wild Wild West, and I thought it was dope. So, I mean, it's just like, I'm just saying it's not my first go-to to be like, I'm gonna see the video. It ain't the same.
I think that part of the reason for that, and I could be wrong, my thought on this would be that I think part of the reason is that it was back in the day, it used to be where you would see like these wild, elaborate videos like Missy, and then you would see like Busta Rhymes videos and Janet Jackson videos were like these high costing productions. And I think that now, right, that music videos cost less to make and more people can make them and it's easier, right? Because everything's more digital now, right? So working on editing the music video right now, matter of fact, right? So it's like, I think that making videos now are so much more accessible that it doesn't take much for every song to have a video put to it though, bro. And I think that very much like studios, right? Going in studios, how now the cost of equipment is cheaper. The cost of making quality videos is cheaper to where now you have more of it. So the more videos matches everything on Spotify, right? There's all these new artists. It doesn't take much for you to have a video. But I think that also to me means that, to have somebody like a Lil Nas X has to really push the envelope to differentiate his, and he has the backing to say, all right, well, you know what? I'm going to make mine a higher costing, production. Cardi B, I'm going to make mine a higher costing one, and it will stand out. So I think that is interesting though, man. That's one of those the evolution of music videos and the accessibility of it to me has to me changed what I thought about, because to me all country music videos look alike, right? Like they all look the same to me. I don't know. You see people who got styles, but I love that. For example, the last music video that I saw that I was like wowed by was probably Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open. And then before that, of course, that WAP. I wanted to see that WAP. I had to see once I heard the song what the video was hitting for. So I don't know. I try to watch music videos as often as possible, but I just don't.
I'm not checking for him, but yeah, man. So no, I'll catch the recap, so I'll look at the highlights or whatever.
I'm gonna try to watch it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, bro. What you got lined up for the rest of the weekend?
Oh man, so you know what this weekend is gonna be? Hopefully now I need to shoot some video, right? So I'm hoping that I can go ahead and have some video edited, man, and wrapped on up for the homie Rocky, and then have my scene shot edited. And man, you know, in a perfect world, I would have everything done all the way and rendered out by Sunday, man. But I think that if that doesn't come to fruition, we'll make something happen. Other than that, though, man, I'm trying to book another vacato, man. So if I don't do that, I think that I'm gonna end up getting put out. So I gotta figure out that though ASAP. Though. That's about it. Don't kick it this weekend.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Man, for me, I'm gonna be cleaning up. I'm gonna be watching that Titans this weekend, and hey, that's about it, brother.
Come here, real quick. Jump in there real quick, man.
What up?
Homie.
What up, Landon?
Hey.
All
Hey,
right,
listen,
bro.
man, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook page. At some point, we need to put the Slash Brothers on TikTok as a page, though, man. I just don't. We don't have nobody to be manning all these social media. I can barely
That's what,
keep
and that's
up with
what
my
I mean.
own. We need to have that. Hey, man, get that music, bro. Take us home, man.
This is no movie. It's no Makai Pfeiffer.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?